What thing are you still mad about? I can't see my forehead. I saw this excerpt of some Obsidian show with two big girls. One of them can actually see her forehead. A group of my friends hanging out at my place were complaining about how broke they were, so I said I'd go out and buy stuff to make dinner for them. While I was gone, they went out and got Subway. I came back and they waited until I was finished cooking to tell me they had already eaten. My 4th grade bus driver never gave me a candy bar on the last day of school ever, though she said she would. Find where that woman lives and leave menacing notes on her door's teos for years, letting her know you're watching and waiting. The after 4 years of terrifying her, calmly ask she place a candy bar in the mailbox. If she does not, then carry on until she's a withered mess of a human shell. It's the only way they will learn. Why the fuck I asked that girl out and got rejected for the 4th time. I was maybe 7. We were told to bring something to school and talk about it to the class. I absolutely loved rocks and brought in a few of my precious ones I had collected, including a bit of amethyst. I loved this amethyst. I remember being very young, maybe 2/3, and staring at a huge bit of amethyst in a shop or someplace on holiday. The person working there, I guess, thought it was cute how much I loved it and chipped a bit off for me. This was magical to me. I remember being so shocked, but so happy, and I cherished that rock. At school we had to put all our items out on a counter, and when it came to lunchtime I discovered my amethyst had been stolen. The teacher made everyone stay in the room at their desks for lunch, hoping someone would come forward. But they never did. I was allowed to go out in the playground for lunch. But I was just sad and had a lonely lunch. I can still picture that bit of amethyst. I stopped collecting after that. I have my own daughter now though, and she seems to love rocks too. Together we are starting our own collection. Mainly just from our walks to the lake, etc. But it is reigniting my passion. You're making this piece of amethyst sound like the ring in Lord of the Rings. Like everyone who sees it goes, it must be mine. I got bullied during elementary school, and on time they pushed me to the ground and tried to choke/strangle me. The teachers didn't do anything even after I told them. They still did nothing. A few days later I picked some flowers from the garden my bullies told the teacher, and I was sent to the principal's office. Yes, this really happened. I don't know why, but I'm still confused to this day and so angry about it. Like, come on. Losing my job due to COVID after 11 years. Adulthood. Trump won. I would have gone to nationals for wrestling, but I got injured the day before I got my invitation. Parental favoritism. I am mad that people out there just copy and paste askreddit stories into robot voice man, throw it on YouTube, and get 300k hits and probably make their rent money. Cardi B winning the Grammy over all of those other albums that were actually good. When I was younger I was really afraid of ants, still am. So when I was like 7 or 6, my bed was filled with ants for some reason and I was crying and panicking. My brother had to make it worse by literally pushing me on the bed, knowing full well that there are ants and I'm panicking because of them. Fuck him. This reminds me when one time I woke up and was crying and hysterical because I thought there were ants all over my pillow. My mom rushes in and turns on the light, and it turns out it was only just a dream. I am so sorry. Yours was reality. It's been over a year since I broke up with my ex. And we hadn't even been dating for long. But I'm still mad about him scratching my then brand new no-stick pen. Big Smoke betrayal. That time I was invited to my college flatmate's stag party, but then excluded from the wedding. It turned out there was a mix-up because the groom left the best man to organize the stag party and didn't care enough to actually look over the guest list. So I spent a few €100 between accommodation and activities for something I wasn't wanted at. I only found out I wasn't invited when I was out for a pint with the best man later, and we realized if I was getting an invite it would have arrived by now. Being born. Same. We had a day in elementary school called 100 Day, and we would celebrate the 100th day of school by bringing in 100 of something. I brought in my 100 best Pokemon cards, including my holographic Charizard right at the top of the deck. At recess we all went out to play and left our things behind, and when I came back my cards were gone. Found out later some kid in my class had stolen them and traded them all to a bunch of kids in the year above us. My parents got my brother the car I had wanted, and they knew I wanted for several years. On my birthday, I found out after they dropped me back off at my college dorm and went on Facebook. In kindergarten, I was building a Lincoln Logs house. I was almost done when this girl took the last Lincoln log, making it so I couldn't finish. I took it back from her and she cried and I got in trouble. But obviously she took it from me to be mean. WTF are you going to do with one Lincoln log? Tell me, Lisa. What are you going to do with one Lincoln log? Ugh. Still gets me mad that I got in trouble. In high school a teacher stole my art sketch pad and gave it to her son. I'm 35. There was Ninja Turtles in that pad. Police brutality. That I let myself get treated the way I did by my ex for 2 whole years. I hope that man rots. But I've been happily living with and dating his best friend for the past 6 months, and we both bought sports cars. He bought a manual Mustang GT and I bought an automatic C4 Corvette, and my ex still lives with his parents and still hasn't paid off his cheap-ass Nissan Sentra. In middle school I got a day of in-school suspension for hugging a friend. But the bullies who gave me weekly beatdowns never were punished. Still irks the hell out of me. Age 14. First day in a new school. Awkward. No friends there. Terrified about not fitting in. The flyer we'd been sent about the school uniform didn't specify sock colors, so I wore the ones from my previous school gray. Within the first 10 minutes of arriving, the bitch of a vice principal stopped me for a uniform violation and confiscated my socks. Had to spend the rest of the day with my bare feet rubbing off my new shoes. I'm over 40 now and still so angry about that I'm shaking as I write this. Were you somewhere in the Asian states? I have heard people there wore uniforms. No. In Europe. Catholic school. My first grade teacher made me throw away a drawing I had been working on for days. I tried to take it out of the trash, so she took it and put it on her desk so I couldn't get to it. My history professor at uni had this optional extra credit assignment where we could write a report and it would replace our lowest test grade. I chose not to do it because I already had an A in the class. Grades finally came out. And the stupid fucking professor counted the assignment as an actual grade and marked it down as a 0 for me. It brought my average down to a C. I tried to reach out to the guy about this through email and phone calls, but he never responded. Next semester when we get back on campus, it turns out that he has retired. I tried to speak with the dean and other people about it, but they basically just brushed it off and said they couldn't do anything about it. So I'm just stuck with the C in history even though I worked my ass off to get an A. I'm actually getting pissed just typing this shit out. It was probably an honest mistake by the professor, but I don't fuck around with my GPA. Star Wars sequels. I like how this statement can be used to piss off anybody. It can piss off people who love episodes 7 to 9, but you can even say this to hate on episodes 4 to 6 and watch people's heads explode. 4 years ago when I was still in school we had a group project. My partner told me to get the printing done costed a lot and she'll pay back her half. We graduated and she never did send a bill to her employer. In preschool we had a mini sports day that was just a race. I got first but some brat in my class said he got first and my teachers believed him. What a fucking man-child he is. More like literal child. This was kindergarten. The time some dude in my class looked under my skirt and after I told the teacher she got mad at me. Cause she thought that I was lying cause that dude was her fave student and he would never do that. Can y'all explain why the fuck was she mad at me?